latest in tech and accessibility. This is Access Tech Live with Steven Scott and Marc Aflalo.
Welcome back. This is Access Tech Live. I am Steven Scott. He is Marc Aflalo. Now, Halloween is perhaps not the most accessible tradition you might think of when you think about having to go up to people's homes, and there's stairs and there's possible things in the way. Of course, with all the trick-or-treating that goes on, all the things people leave lying around the streets can be a little bit inaccessible. Well, joining us now to tell us about an organization that he and his family founded to combat this is Rich Padulo. He is the founder of Treat Accessibly. Now, you're joining us from outside your home, so it might be a little bit windy where you are, I'm guessing. Rich, tell us, first off, why you decided to create the company.
Well, first off, happy Halloween. And
happy Halloween,
thank you so much for sharing the message. And I thought it would be apropos to do the interview in front of the lawn sign, kind of in situation. So we created a lawn sign much like this in 2017. We had a little boy living on our street who used a mobility device. And we were putting pumpkins on our stairs, and we realized very quickly that he wouldn't be able to treat at our home. My daughter, Sienna, who was 6 at the time, and I chatted about it, and she got it right away. And from the mouth of babes, we developed the phrasing accessible trick-or-treating. And the icon image in the background was created by our dear friend, and a visual description of it is a forward motion wheelchair with a cape blowing in the wind. And that Halloween, we had 7 homes attend our home to trick or treat, or 7 families attend our home to trick or treat. And of those 7 families, the parents shared mobility, sensory and intellectual disabilities that limit the fun due to the barriers of the traditional house at Halloween and the traditional experience of a stranger behind the door, or stairs, or lighting, or sound. And after hearing from those parents, who we are parents, it resonates with us. We identify with them. We didn't want any kids missing out on a very social and important experience in their youth. And that's when we started the movement. And as of 2023, there's about 150,000 of the lawn signs, like the one you see behind me, or the one that people will put on their front lawns. And we're very appreciative to this Canada for the support. We're also having 9 Treat Accessibly Halloween villages, where a street in 9 cities closed down to treat accessibly from their driveways. It starts in Halifax on October 15th and ends October 22nd in Surrey, British Columbia. So, and that wouldn't happen unless the homeowners decided to cancel one of their Saturdays or Sundays and throw these events. And anyone can register for our events at treataccessibly.com, or get tips, or find out where they can get signs. While we support the accessibility community, which represents 22% of Canada, our goal is to get the other 78% championing kids and families with disabilities. Thank you. You're showing beautiful pictures from our events that present families getting treats from the driveways of all the participants. And that's really the goal. 90% of what you have to do as a homeowner is just treat from the street or from your driveway, really, to remove stairs and the barrier doors, and allow a lot of kids to stay closer to parents without feeling awkward in the process of doing that. And then siblings can treat together who may not be able to usually, and even parents with disabilities reach out and thank us for the movement, because they can hang out with their kids and be closer to the kids. And our events are for kids with and without disabilities at the Halloween villages. We want everybody treating together, and we want people walking or rolling away knowing that they can be together at all times.
Rich, it's an incredible movement, and I've got to ask you along your journey here. I know in my neighborhood, people go a little crazy when it comes to decking out their homes and doing things like smoke and the lighting and stuff like that. Anything stand out to you along this journey of yours as super impressive homes? The way people have taken things to next levels to make the experience even better for the kids that are showing up.
Sure. So I love all the Halloween Village streets that participate. But the first street we ever did this on was in Toronto on Queens Drive. And they're doing it again this year. They signed up to do it before the first event ended the second year. Now they're going into their third. They build by themselves massive spiders to hang from their houses. They have installed doorways or door frames at the end of their driveways to simulate, but without the barriers, an actual door-to-door experience. It's regardless of the fact that we're doing it house to house via the driveways. So those have been really special. But I think it's the parents of the kids most impacted by the event, speaking to the homeowners that are holding the events. That is well, to use a Halloween term, spellbinding. It's, we hear stories about this is a son's first Halloween where he's never been able to trick or treat, and he's 18 years old. So our goal is really to make sure no kid has to turn 18 before it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Rich, where can people find out more information about the events?
Sure. They can go to treataccessibly.com. And I promise I don't tear up on the website when I talk about the movement. So feel free to go there. You won't get the emotional impact, but I blame you guys for asking that question. But it's go to treataccessibly.com. We've got pages of dedicated to the Halloween Village registration. Again, 9 cities from Halifax, Ottawa, Oakville, Toronto, Hamilton, Ottawa, Edmonton, St. Albert, Calgary, and Surrey. And I'll be at 8 of them, I think. Yeah. And we have a page dedicated to where to get lawn signs. You can ask your local RE/MAX office. We've also partnered with Pumpkins After Dark, which have events in 5 regions of Canada. And the most ardent Halloween fans go there. So we hope they will pick up one of our signs. A beautiful story you can find from our book or from our website. And it's a beautiful story, literally. Grandmother saw us on the news. Her grandson has a mobility disability. And she wrote a children's book about her grandson experienced trick-or-treating thanks to Treat Accessibly. It's called Atticus Goes Trick-or-Treating, and you can find it on our website. Everything about our movement is free. The only thing that we direct you to that you purchase is the Atticus Goes Trick-or-Treating book, and it supports the real life Atticus. And we ended up, thanks to Canadian Tire, purchasing 5,000 copies of Atticus Goes Trick-or-Treating so we can treat those to 5,000 families. And versus any kind of gift you give out, we want people to re-gift that. We hope to have, we ask every family who gets one to make sure it gets re-gifted at least 4 times before Halloween. So we can aim at getting about 100,000 families reading it by Halloween night, and hopefully getting them to accept and become a Treat Accessibly home.
Rich, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Again, the website is treataccessibly.com. Those villages start next week, which is why we're getting the head start here on Halloween. And we hope to have you back on next year to talk about all the excitement that comes around. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to give you some of my Halloween tips on the tech side to make your home a little bit fun. But don't forget that question of the day, which is iPhone or Android? Which one are you going to choose? Let us know. This is Access Tech Live. We'll be right back.
We want to hear from you. Follow us on social media and get involved at Access Tech Live. We'll be right back.